right.
There's no wall in yet. There's no wall in yet.
There we go.
Speed's about to finish.
Oh, man.
Good to go.
Here. Oh, I said it too soon. Hold on. Here we go.
Well, this is a problem. Speedling's coming out. Quick pullback on that Adept. Probe's being pulled as well. But these Lings definitely going to get a bit of value.
I'm actually a little bit surprised. I thought, oh, wow. Now he traps it inside. Nicely done. So Scarlet's going to try to do something with these Lings to get a little bit more work done.
I love the recall on a single Adept. These Lings just flooding the front, though. I think that she has a very good chance of breaking through right now.
And she has. The Lings are braced to base.
Well, Classic's definitely in trouble at this point. Another Adept pops out, but Warp Gate's still nowhere near done, and Oracle comes out. He needs to re-wall, though, immediately.
Right now, Scarlet doing so much damage over here to these workers using the whole position micro. 7 probes are killed so far.
Oh my god.
The Oracle, I mean, there's so many Lings. This Oracle is not going to kill these Lings in time. It's now down to 14 kills, and the Lings are going into the main of Classic.
Yeah, I don't know if there's more Lings on the way. It looks like she's droning up behind this, so it's done. But 14 kills? Look at that damage. That is serious damage.
And when you really look at it, it's very, very difficult to try to recoup from here. In fact, going for this gateway again, it looks like with 2 Oracles, that's enough damage, and it's probably unwise for Scarlet to keep her Lings there any further. But already the game on the Protoss side has basically been messed up, right? Yeah. This is really hard to navigate from here. And there's so many different directions that Scarlet can try to take the game. I mean, she could have kept making Lings, right, and try to end it there. But she, with her mental calculus, says, no, I think I've done enough damage. Now look at here. The Oracles are going to come out because Scarlet, Classic needs to try to balance this out by doing some damage of his own, but there's another Link counterattack. We don't have it on camera yet. Looks like it was just barely deflected, but Scarlet did try to run inside the natural there.
Well, a couple Oracles come up right now. A Queen gets picked off. Maybe there'll be an Overlord killed there. A few drones as well. Classic looking for bits of damage and finding like a little bit. But, you know, this isn't making up for the damage he took early on.
That's right. So Classic is going to have to back off. Now, Classic is continuing to make Oracles here. He's hoping that a multi-pronged harass might be the way to get back into this game. But again, he has to be careful because if he loses these Oracles...
He's got a couple very red Oracles right now.
Alrighty.
Yeah. You got to be careful because if those get caught in the wrong position...
I need to first add a new scene name.
Well, from here, I mean... Yeah, he's got like 4 Oracles. That's pretty useful. Maybe you can get a little bit more damage done with that, but there's no third base yet. There's no real units that cause long-term problems. You know, like a couple Sentries go warping. We don't have like a Twilight. We don't have a Forge.
All right.
The Robo's on the way. It's not done, so obviously no Immortals.
Yeah, this is really problematic. Now, it looks like Scarlet's going to try to come in here now. The Queen has been picked up. The drones are getting gunned down actually very quickly. This is a lot of damage, unfortunately, for Classic. Ooh. 2 of those Oracles were killed off. There's one that's badly, badly bruised. I think it's 1 hit away from being knocked out of the sky. And even though those are good drone kills there by Classic, it's still not enough. I mean, the amount of damage that Scarlet did, especially when you see that much damage done early on in a game, you're so behind from there.
Yeah, it's
How do I figure out what version this is?
He's done so much to try to kill drones, but the rest of his game hasn't developed that much. You know, a lot of money put into those Oracles after taking so much damage. Look at this, 13 Hydras on the way. Like, the Classic doesn't have the right army to do anything against it. Those can stop any attacks that he's going to try to do, and certainly this little podunk army isn't going to do anything.
And Scarlet's being pretty cautious from here on out. She's not overextending at all with those Zerglings. Now, the combination of the Hydralisks and the Zerglings, this is a lot of times like a third base ender. Sometimes you can come in there and just basically roll over that expansion because the damage output is just so high.
Yeah, and I think that could be very much what we're going to see here.
Let's see, HT local machine.
A group of units there, but like, oh
software.
man, you can even see that he's so desperate to be getting glazed
Microsoft.
at almost 8 minutes. That's like, that's screaming, okay, I got to do something crazy. I got to kind of go all in.
Unfortunately, Scarlet's going to have the initiative here.
Yeah.
Classic would have to hold this off before the glaives ever became a factor.
NDP.
There's so many banelings out here. The force fields will have to be perfect, but even if they are perfect, it might not be enough.
Yeah, force fields don't last forever, so good luck here to Classic. Okay, has to wall that first spot.
Looks like it's
not
like
terrible.
4.0 or something.
Unfortunately, it looks like Scarlet might be able to just get inside the natural here.
Oh, another good force field there, though. That was a fantastic force field. But the force fields are running out. Most of the army is sentries. These shield batteries, I don't think that's enough against this type of army. It looks to me like Scarlet's about to take game one.
Yeah, it does look to be the case, as there's no way, really, for Classic to keep this base alive. GG.
Ready, fight.
In the upper left, in the blue, our Protoss player. He is
Gosu Crew, Classic.
And his opponent down here in the bottom right, in the red, she is
Scarlet.
And great cheers from the crowd here for Scarlet, fan favorite. For Classic, the essence of the Protoss says he's called.
yeah.
Yeah, mostly for the frustration people have playing against him, as he is so good.
Yeah.
Nothing makes people angry like Protoss, Stasis. That's for sure.
This is kind of funny situation here, because I think it's not normal to have a Korean player in the studio against a non-Korean player, where the entire studio is cheering for the non-Korean player to win. Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of non-Korean fans have actually flown in for this, and of course traveled from all over the country to see this. The studio has been absolutely packed for a couple days.
Yeah,
All
this
right.
is fun. If you guys are watching and you're insult, definitely come tomorrow into the finals, as Canada may be moving on here today.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Canada, an amazing
honest.
country, Artosis. People are very polite.
Yeah.
Saw that sign for Poutine. Poutine, excellent.
I love Canadians. Literally.
That's right. You're married to a Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now that Neve's gone, this is it, Artosis. We got to move to Canada.
Or Mexico.
Or Mexico. Special
Mexico's
still in
got
this.
us,
Mexico's
okay.
also a great country.
Yeah. And look, we already have Germany through to the next round as well.
That's
So
right.
this would be nice. 3 against 5 if Scarlet can advance. And I mean, that game 1 is pretty promising.
Yeah, so far so good. Let's see, though, how the early game goes. I do feel like it's kind of been weird today. We've had a lot of bumpy games for the Protoss at the start.
Yeah.
Some sneaky stuff going down here on the Zerg side of things.
Well, Protoss, you have to execute perfectly in that early game. Now, you know, I guess that can be said to some degree in all races and all matchups, but, you know, if some speedlings get in, kill a few extra probes early when you're Protoss, that's very, very tough. Protoss is, like, you have to get your techs out at the right time, you have to keep the pressure on, or Zerg is going to run away with that match.
Yep, you're absolutely right. As we go on in this game, the Stargate is done, and it's going to be a Phoenix first, not an Oracle first.
Yeah, no extra Zerglings slipping around the map, trying to get a counterattack on, so much more standard opening this time. Classic playing a little bit more laid back, a little bit more defensively.
Okay, so Ling speed is going to be done.
So,
See already the Classic, a very, very conservative
Yeah.
opening here. He's like, no.
He's just sitting there with 2 adepts, and they're like already in the position.
This guy
These
plays
Lings
an
come in
Nexus?
if they have the least surface area possible. Like,
That's right. No Lings allowed.
yeah,
This
he's
time around.
not interested in that. But the thing is, you get less scouting. You know,
Yeah.
you can't. Sometimes you get an adept up there and kill a drone, maybe kill a Ling or 2. Like, that's valuable stuff. But he's having to skip it all.
That's right. We see the Twilight Council coming down now, as well as 2 more
Oh,
gates.
yeah, and we don't see additional gases. This is so important, Tasis.
Nope.
This should end up being a charge all-in.
It looks like it is, and this is actually one of the scarier builds, because if you don't respond like right away, the game will just spiral out of control. But there's
wait
not
a
a lot of
second.
transitional stuff that you
I
can
think
do with this.
it might not be charged.
We'll know when
exactly.
the Twilight Council's done for sure.
Yeah. It's just there's not a robo, right? So this could be an.
back. You're back.
Oh,
yeah. That
so
makes
there's the
sense.
glaives, but it's also kind of the same idea,
Yeah,
right?
it's similar.
It's there's a couple variations of this concept, which is you want to blindside the Zerg so quickly, and the damage comes out so fast that the game kind of slips between the Zerg's fingertips if they do not respond perfectly. And some of this comes down to instinct on Scarlet's part. She has to say, okay, can she sniff out that the strategy's coming? Can she scout it?
Well, yeah, this is really interesting as well because there's 5 gates right now. 3 gate adepts is pretty popular at the moment.
Yeah.
So when you hit 5, like if you're defending for a 3 gate, right, you're doing that with lings and queens for the most part. When it's 5 gate, roaches would be nice, or at least some banelings. And there is a baneling nest on the way and a very quick Hydra Den, but I feel like this can do massive damage.
So this is very deceptive here. You see the setup. Classic's trying to telegraph to Scarlet that he's taking a 3rd base here, and that he's going to be playing a standard game, but suddenly these adepts are going to come out, and the moment Scarlet sees this, she's going to know exactly what Classic is up to.
It is so many adepts. Oh my gosh.
That did not get spotted at all,
no,
right?
She doesn't know. Now she knows because it's on creep. The lings turn around immediately here. Now this is a lot of adepts. There's Hydras on the way, but Hydras won't help out that much against this. Oh my gosh, here we go. Glaives is done.
What?
The shade finishes, and a lot of damage being dealt immediately.
You can see these drones trying to assist here in the defense. The adepts are shading towards Scarlet's main.
Shade up there, grabs a bunch of drones. Already 10 drones going down. This Phoenix putting on a little bit of pressure on this Overseer. Adepts over on the 3rd base as well. Scarlet taking massive damage.
This is pretty crazy, Artosis. The splitting here with the Adepts seems like it might be too much for Scarlet to handle. Already 25 worker kills.
Yeah, the Adepts continue to stack up the damage. This could be just about it. Tasteless, there's very little recourse left here for Scarlet. She's lost so many workers. I wouldn't be surprised if she stays in
GG.
Ready, fight.
Okay, in the upper right, in the blue, winning game number 2, our Protoss player, he is.
Gosu Crew Classic.
Can you imagine being on Team Gosu Crew and having any ID that would rhyme with Gosu Crew? in the bottom left, in the red, winning game number 1, she is.
Scarlet.
You know what? A little notice to Gosu Crew. Sue is teamless at the
That's
moment.
right.
Gosu Crew Sue.
Gosu Crew Sue. I'm glad you like that, Artosis.
I do like that. It's so stupid.
Okay.
Tasus will change his name to Tassel Do if you want to recruit him.
Tassel Do,
Gosu Crew, Tassel Do.
Yeah. Like, sorry, Tasus, we need you to also be good at the game. I'm like, oh. Okay. What is Classic going to do this time around? I mean, I don't think they're going to do another Adept all in at a best of 5, but sometimes because that seems almost illogical, that's the way to take the game. Will we actually get a normal PvZ here? We've had a series of very offbeat PvZs that we could talk about what happened in the late game, but a lot of times it's what's happened early on.
Well, okay, so normal. I
Don't know if it's going to work, but
macro game,
gotta try.
Likely, you know, this is a map where you get that free extra base in your back.
Yeah.
So something like the Adept attack isn't really going to be that good. The fact that you can kind of split units super easily. There's only one way in, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. So it's so easy to defend things in general on this map. But a map like this can lead you into some different kind of interesting strategies. We've seen Zerg players really like occasionally going for things like Swarm Host on this map, sometimes Nidus play. We've seen, on the other hand, from Protoss on maps similar to this in the past, Carrier Tech. I mean, we're going to have to see what they want to do. There's a huge amount of strategies you can try on this map, but the early rushes are the ones that I think everyone's least fond of. They're least likely to work.
I agree with you, Artosis. It's the whole map architecturally is kind of shaped to reward somebody who's going to be a little bit greedier.
Yeah.
Want to focus on a longer game here. In case you guys are wondering, well, then why wouldn't Zerg take that back base first? Well, it's pretty easy to secure a natural, and then you can kind of take that back base, the one that's tucked just behind your main, and it's basically for free. So again, we have the Stargate, Phoenix or Oracle. It will be a Phoenix.
Yeah, this is generally what we see nowadays. You push that Overlord out so you can be sneaky like we saw from Classic in last game. Or at least they have to consider that you might be sneaky, whether Classic wants to do that or not. I'm interested to see when Classic wants to take his third, because you can take it so quickly here. Oh yeah, you can just throw it on the next step and kill this Overlord in fact.
Okay, so the first Phoenix is out now. Scarlet may try to come up with some kind of a plan to do some scouting, because generally speaking, if the Zerg is not going to be aggressive, the whole game for the Zerg is centered on reacting to what the Protoss is doing and basically staying 10-20% ahead in whatever way you need to be ahead in order to win that game. And a lot of times you just outgrow, out-expand, and you kind of shut down bases here and there.
Well, right now the extra 2 gases are being taken. We don't see a Robo yet. We'll see if that pops up in a second here, and yeah, it does. So it's kind of looking like it might be an Archon drop type of situation here, which I think is really solid for this map.
Yeah, Archon drop is great. I remember when we first started seeing this a while back in GSL, and I'm like, oh yeah, that actually is the most efficient thing I've ever seen. The Archon is all shields. They can get the shields back, so you just keep dropping them out. Comboed with a Warp Prism, you're going to do so much damage.
I actually didn't think it was going to stay around when we first saw it. I'm like, this is cute, but is this going to last?
Well, at first, when it was happening, it looked kind of funny, right? Because it just was a weird concept. Like, you drop Archons?
That's so
like,
expensive.
why? That just
like,
seems so weird, and they don't have a lot of range. But actually, with the Warp Prism pickup, it's good.
Yeah, the pickup range is the key thing. If pickup range went away, so would Archon drop immediately. It would be so garbagey. Anyways, Prism popping out here. The Twilight is done. We'll see, should be a Templar Archives coming up momentarily. But the third Nexus being taken very, very, very quickly here.
Okay. Protoss continues to tech up. I think we got ourselves a macro game, Tosis.
Yeah, yep. That's what you would expect on the map. Hope that nothing goes terribly wrong for anyone coming up in the next moments, because then we can get into a really long, big macro game, and both these players are quite good at that.
Yeah, I've been kind of itching for this since we started GSL vs. World. I wanted to see a great macro game. We've had a lot of action-packed PvZs that can turn on a dime. So, the Warp Prism's out. Oracle continuing to survey around the edges of Scarlet's base, looking for any opening, trying to see, okay, where is Scarlet defending so that Classic will know where the right location to start the Archon drop is.
Should be making those Archons at this moment. As we see, the Hydralisk Den is on the way, already Roach Speed being gathered as well. So, pretty standard really on both sides, just slightly quicker third for the Protoss.
Okay, here we go. The first Archon drop is out and does take out a Queen.
Okay.
And I mean, you know, it's very easy basically to keep these alive, even at lower levels of StarCraft, if you're microing well. And so in this moment you say, okay, is he low on HP? And then you move out. You rinse and repeat. I mean, you're not losing anything as Protoss when you're doing this. Zerg is pretty much guaranteed to lose something in the process, sometimes a lot.
Archons have so much health with those shields that, I mean, you're just going to kill at least a Roach or two, right? And they actually heal up exceedingly quickly when they're not being attacked. So.
And you got to keep in mind, because you can rotate around so quickly in a Warp Prism, Zerg has to make enough to kind of defend everywhere. And these are moments where Zerg could have been making workers or developing more of an economy.
Oh, totally. This is actually part of the reason why Archon Drop became so popular, is because you force out a bunch of Roaches. By the way, a casual 8 drop Overlords being made at 7 minutes and 10 seconds.
Wow, this is cool. And you know what? This is great on a map like this. We were talking about how this is a map that kind of rewards a greedy player. But, you know, and this has been growing in popularity, by the way, in top players of StarCraft 2, is doing these mass drops and basically out-positioning them.
The thing is, when you see the drops, normally you're already on the map pressuring some, and then it's like 5. But this is early, this is 8, this is massive. I'm excited to see it. I mean, the fact that...
I don't believe that Classic has any idea this is coming.
No, not yet.
Scarlet is so carefully escorting the drop Overlords in a hidden path.
.NET.
She's almost making it look like she might attack the front as well. So Classic might be... Yeah, he's completely out of position. You couldn't be more out of position than that. Okay. Well, I guess if he was on the other side of the map, that would be more out of position. But maybe it'd be more because you could counter.
Okay, here we go. Scarlet's going to load those up. There's only one cannon for now back there. Oh, is she gonna...
Was
Wait.
there a tag?
Alright.
Yeah, I thought there was only one oracle and it died.
We're
but
dumb people. Okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
You and I are a couple dummies.
We're a
Stasis.
couple dummy dum. Sorry, guys. So, what was a tag? Well, it's not going to wear off. I don't know how to cast this.
Well, those
now.
are stealth overlords. They don't even make noise when they get
Yeah,
units
they're
in them.
completely quiet.
Okay, well, are we going to see an insta recall here? Is the next question. Oh wow, look at that.
Uh-oh.
Cannon
Oh, this is
stalkers.
actually really bad for
Yeah.
Charlotte. Okay, and now she probably can't easily unload this, so she's going to try to unload and pick a fight with a good surround here. There's still 4 Immortals with shields. One goes down. Scarlet trying to close in, but this is so many storms.
Yeah, that is a lot of storms. The Immortals dealing a ton of damage to this front row right now. More units coming down to fight against this 4 Immortals against a mostly Roach army. Should be ending up going Classic's way, especially with storms like that.
Okay, so that attack was a total dumpster fire. I mean, it could not have been worse there for Scarlet. The fact that the drop was spotted, she had to unload, there were already Immortals there. I guess it's great she still has those Overlords, but is that really going to be a viable thing later on? I mean, for now, Scarlet is almost even in supply there with Classic, which is not a good thing. And Classic, once again, is able to apply more pressure.
Yeah, this was a really great defense from Classic overall. You really ended up reading that nicely. I guess I missed the second Oracle whenever that got in and tagged, because that was a crucial thing that slowed this down. Scarlet was very close to pulling off a drop that Classic wouldn't have seen.
Okay, now notice how cautious. Oh wow, this is a big find. Oh, that's too bad. Scarlet's not able to take down that Warp Prism. Anyways, I was gonna say, Classic you could see is playing a really conservative game from here. He's just gonna stay back. He's gonna get a 4th base. You might as well keep upgrading, make some more Immortals. You're gonna be in a good position for a later game. But keeping that pressure off of Scarlet has allowed her to tag into Mutas. Okay, hey, that was a great little pick off there.
Yeah, even forcing a little cancel like that can be really nice indeed. What do you think about the Mutas, though?
I don't know. It's just 5, right?
You're making 5 more right now.
Okay, so she's gonna get. Well, you know, the problem is when you go for drop, right? A lot of times, the way that you're going to defend a drop is the way you would defend Mutas anyways. But let's
shield batteries.
Yeah, exactly.
Stalkers even.
Oh, well, she's going to do more than just that. These Mutas are going to come here. This should draw some of the anti-air, maybe into the main, but then, oh man, I don't know, Artosis.
All right. I mean, I don't know about this, Tasteless. 5 cannons, 2 shield batteries.
The thing is that even though Scarlet's been shut down several times, she's already maxed out again. Oh, she's going to come in here and try to get these Templars. This is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, no, this is a good move. You get rid of the high Templars. Oh my gosh, and Artie has set off a ton of the shields.
Whoa.
The flank from Scarlet comes in, and out of nowhere, she's going to kill off the entire army of Classic.
Yeah, with no Templars, there's no way you can stop that army. And I think what initially looked like was going to be a failed drop, actually, Classic ended up moving himself out of position here.
Well, truly, the drop did so much damage, or the lack thereof. All these stalkers sitting behind these buildings in the natural aren't going to do anything.
They're stuck there. And look, Scarlet has a choice to now drop again later on here. She's already grown to a pretty insane amount on the map. She's on 5 bases. She could even take a 6 while she's doing this here. Classic is tucked into a corner on 3 bases, and now the main's going to get dropped.
Yeah, now Stalkers are going to have to walk up the ramp against this Scarlet, taking control of this game with some brilliant tactics here, even though her strategies were actually all destroyed. The Classic coming up the ramp, throwing down some side storms. He's not going to die here as of yet, but definitely a big lead right now going to Scarlet.
I got to say, though, I would not be surprised if he just taps out. I mean, there's pretty much no way to recover unless Scarlet were to make some kind of a huge mistake. And in this game that seemed like it was pretty neck and neck, and at one point Classic actually handling everything correctly, suddenly this game appears to be very, very simply going to Scarlet.
Well, Classic's trying to get some harassment on the other side of the map. But let's not forget, Scarlet has been expanding a lot. She's up to 6 bases, so that means Classic can find places to try to do damage. It's just, he doesn't have very much. This one little Warp Prism gonna be picked off by the Mutas.
Yeah, this is the problem, is when you feel that kind of pressure as Protoss, you want to send the Warp Prism out to try to harass, but then Scarlet goes back and kills it and you don't have a Warp Prism.
Yeah.
And now you are just stuck. You're in timeout on the map, Artosis.
Yeah, it's kind of true. Now with Lurkers on the way, I mean, you've already forced so many Stalkers out of your opponent.
That's a good point, yeah.
There's not a unit worse against Lurkers than Stalkers. Probes are almost a better counter.
Yeah, it's almost like this unit counter treadmill that you're riding in Berserk, where you're like, okay, now I did that, I'm going to make the unit that counters this, and then because of that, I'm going to make the unit that counters the counter to the counter to the counter.
It's like a pots and pans symphony.
Yeah, so the mutas actually, you can see the Phoenixes are trying to box the mutas in, but already Scarlet is preparing to do the lurker push here. And look at this, because of the way the buildings are set up for Protoss, there's no easy retreat. The wall in there is like a funnel the units have to go through. And by the way, the lurkers can actually push the robo. While that was happening, I guess the Phoenix is starting to come back, so Scarlet puts more pressure onto the main. Oh, that's unpowered.
You know, the Phoenixes are one thing that might be able to do something here. You can lift up lurkers, and once you lift them, they're unburrowed. So there's definitely some little micro tricks you can try here as Classic once he clears out the mutas. But the amount of bases Scarlet has, like even if you kill off this whole army somewhat efficiently, which is going to be hard in and of itself, it's still a very uphill battle.
Ooh, Scarlet even running out of storms here. Being about as efficient as you can be. The noose is tightening here on Classic. I think pretty soon here we're going to have to go to game 4, Artosis.
It is looking that way. Look at those, the Phoenixes pop in for a moment. Overseer set up beautifully. So many lurkers out here right now. A couple decent storms, but those aren't going to break you out.
It's crazy. This base that's being pushed only has 3 mineral patches left. Like,
she really doesn't
even
need
if
to push
Classic saves this, it's like, okay, well now how am I going to spend these 3 mineral patches? There's storms going down Artosis, but I don't know that it matters. I think Scarlet has too much.
Yeah, definitely she has too much at this point. I tell you, that was a game of StarCraft right there.
No kidding.
What's going on
Really
with this?
technical mid-game.
Ready?
Shaw Sanctuary rejection.
Sanctuary, gosh. I'm a StarCraft caster. Okay, in the bottom right. He needs a comeback. He is.
I can't run Nginx and Ubuntu, I mean, Apache at the same time.
In the upper right, in the red, she's 1 win away from moving. She is.
Scarlet.
It's time to see the best these two players have got.
I think Classic's going to go for some kind of a timing.
Yeah,
I think
that's
if
what
you
he's
can't
good at.
win, especially after seeing like Scarlet drop like that, I mean that was actually pretty crazy. Like she drops and she's like, oh no, wait a minute. Oh, I got mutas now. I'm going to kill off your Templars.
Yeah.
Look, if you're struggling against the best players in the world in that kind of game, okay, fine, then avoid it. Play around it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you get to do Archon drop with a free third base, and then you completely block, you know, the drop, an 8 Overlord drop rush, and then you still get wrecked. I mean, I think this is where you bring out the quick charge upgrade, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
That or you open with a forge.
I mean, I feel as though, I mean, Classic knows what he needs to do, but it's a whole different beast when you have that, you know, you have a bunch of bases and the Zerg can drop here or push there or fly mutas there. I mean, Scarlet's proven that she's very, very good at that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't know. Now, I guess we can also look at the other side of the matchup. What does Scarlet want to do? Does she just want to play a normal game? Is there any incentive to try to do some kind of an all-in, or is that really just throwing away your chances?
Oh, well, I think, you know, she's a map ahead. She's actually pretty comfortable with aggressive plays. A lot of her success is on the back of aggressive plays. In fact, even one of the games here.
Close
So
enough, I
wouldn't
guess.
mind it. I think it's totally fine to mix those in. Now, on Classic side, Tastes, we've been talking about how if you don't go for Stargate, it's generally an all-in type of build.
Yeah.
Take a look at that production tab if you don't mind. I'm like, all right, now I'll read your mind. 3 of clubs. I mean, no Stargate.
Was this your card? No. Really? Yeah, so Classic going for a crazy build. And it's like we were talking about, Artosis. I mean, look, if you can't win a normal game, then don't play a normal game.
Yeah. Okay, the Overlord actually does not see anything, but now the Stalker itself kind of yells no Stargate, but some people go Stalker and Stargate to really mix it up.
Look at the Robo in the front. Oh.
Okay, well that really tells you what's
Yeah.
going on. So this is the old school DT drop. You do it with, or Archon drop rather. You do it with Dark Templars instead of High Templars, and there can be 2 phases where you go the DTs and then the Archons, and you see if you can maybe pull your opponent out of position. I kind of am feeling like we might see, especially if some more gases get added here, possibly the double Warp Prism version of this.
Well, I think make it even crazier, right? So, you know, with a strategy like this from Classic, guess what, guys? It doesn't matter how good Scarlet is in mid-game or late game, because this game's probably not going to last that long. She's going to try to come in there and do, or he's going to try to come in there and do a ton of damage. Classic is with these DTs, and just basically try to catch Scarlet off guard. And suddenly the game is going to completely lose control. If she cannot shut this down, it's going to be problematic. Now, the follow-up here for Protoss, it's not an easy one. You're pretty much investing in a period of about a half a minute of this game of it going really well for you.
I think I guess the quote-unquote issue of this, right? One is this isn't a Temple Archives, it's a Dark Shrine, right? So you don't have splash damage follow-up, and you don't have a Stargate, so flying units become scary, and Mass Roach becomes scary. So there's a lot of reasons why this is not a standard normal build right now. But look, here comes the DT drop. The DT drop itself, this could do fantastic damage.
Okay, it started.
Look at this, you get that Spore right away. There is an Overseer on the way.
That's right. Right now, Classic going for the spawning pool, the next available target. The Overseer is out. It does look like that spawning pool might be taken out, though.
Yeah, the spawning pool is definitely going to die, and there are drones dying at the natural as well as the DT snuck down that ramp.
Okay.
And there is the double prism, so this is where it gets really dangerous. You got DTs everywhere.
It seems like Scarlet already knows this should be coming. And
7 DTs on the map. Oh my god.
here we go. The Overseer's about to finish.
Well,
so far so good.
okay. You can just go into Archons from here. There's 8 DTs out. That's also 4 Archons.
There's Immortals being made behind this. And Classic is taking a third base.
Now, you know, one of the ways that we sometimes see people play, and one of the reasons why this build really went out of style, is that a lot of Zergs were hitting a massive speed road counterattack against the double Archon Prism, because you're low on Immortals at that point. I'll be interested to see if that's what Scarlet wants to do.
Okay, now the Archon drop is the next phase of this. If you didn't blindside him enough with the invisible DTs, now you at least get that splash. And it looks like the main is actually quite exposed.
Really good damage already. A couple drones, almost gets that queen there. A lot of units having to be forced back up, and the Archons doing damage all over the place.
The Warp Prism.
Such a slow install.
Oh, good save here by Classic.
Oh, but this means that the Archons are going to die.
Oh, and the Warp Prism goes down as well. This is bad.
Losing one of the Prisms and 2 of the Archons is not how this drop is supposed to go. The damage started to get good, but those Archons are worth a lot. You put so many of your resources into this.
Okay, now let's see if Classic can keep this Warp Prism alive. There's enough roaches here that you really can't put those Archons on the ground. They need to stay in the air. Classic getting that third base up, but it seems like, as far as I can tell, Artosis, Scarlet has basically stabilized.
Yeah.
And is now able to go back to developing her economy.
Well, this is the part for Classic that gets a little bit tricky, right? You definitely
They weren't
need to
kidding
get
when they
out a
said
good
it'll
amount of
take a few
Immortals.
minutes.
Yeah, you already have some Archons
Sweet
and
Jeebus.
Prisms and stuff like that. You see a lot of sentries have been made also, and that's partially due to the lack of splash damage, but that's one thing that Classic has to think about. Either you have to attack quickly before Scarlet gets a critical mass, or you must get into Psystorm.
It's very important. There's no other way to deal with that much bulk in the Zerg's army.
Yeah.
So this Warp Prism needs to keep Scarlet very honest. Classic wants to make sure that this Warp Prism keeps Scarlet defending, and that way she can't start to assert her map dominance. Now, Classic's going to push out.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of the options that you have available to you. If you can get a push out and do some decent damage, then it puts off how quickly you need that splash damage, but I don't know if this is going to do that good of damage. Like, Scarlet has a pretty decent army right now. Maybe you can cancel the 4th, but I don't think you do real damage with Scarlet.
Hi, what is the hypervisor that you're using?
Okay. Looks like Classic could
I am using
right over
Ubuntu,
here. Really good here.
and I'm talking to it with M Remote NG.
Oh my god, that was so many free units right there. That is actually a big deal. The fourth gets canceled immediately. Scarlet could be in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, despite the good hold there with that harass, that initial engage went very well for Classic.
All right, here we go. Force fields once again with 4 Immortals in the background doing so much right now. Another warp in. I'm starting to feel this for Classic. It's really looking like he's breaking through.
Classic beginning to push up here. Scarlet on the ropes.
Great.
The Zealots are coming in now. And you can see Scarlet's army is isolated now into this corner. From behind, though, we see some Hydras coming in here trying to snipe down that War Prince of the Hatchery at half health.
I'm also kind of relearning .NET C#, and one of the things that I need to focus on is trying to get it to work with in my own development environment. I can develop on my local machine, but it is grotesquely slow to the point of intolerable, and makes it almost impossible for me to really get anything done. And on top of that, I like to stream while I code, so courtesy of that, it's not all that fun, so need to find a better way to make programming more interesting and not rage-inducing.
That we have introing this show. The innovation tattoos totally sold me on Knuckle. That's right. Your Knuckles, right? And then you're like, I wonder what he has on his thumbs, and you give thumbs up, and there's GG.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's over, Tasteless.
It's over.
Even if you go to prison, you already won, okay?
.NET, in my personal experience, doesn't try to be super user-friendly to, well, user-friendly, not what I mean, it's not too friendly to the developer, so, yeah, but at the same time, it's one of those things of, there are countless .NET, C#, Visual Basic jobs out there, so it's kind of impossible to get away from it.
Yeah, Scarlet could cheese, and that suddenly, all attention will turn to that.
And there's usually a feeling of a far more conservative, traditional culture that comes with the .NET territory, which I can understand to be a little off-putting to a lot of people. I mean, it was very off-putting to me, but I love technology in general, so I can get away with learning it as I need it.
Level because you have a wide range of strategies. You need to be able to play on different maps.
And there is the Stargate being made right at the wall. So the fact that it's being made at the wall makes me think it probably won't be double Stargate, because it's very easy to scout that Phoenixes are still being made from that front Stargate. Normally, if you're going for that, it's going to be in your main. And I feel like as soon as Scarlet scouts this,
fantastic! It looks like that it is finally installed. So,
Classic didn't seem that great with it in the game on 16-bit. So,
see.
Okay, Stargate's going to finish. We have a few adepts out on the map, just applying a little bit of pressure, trying to snoop and see, is there anything suspicious that Scarlet's up to? Because the Protoss needs to be wary about that as well. We have the 2 adepts coming forward now, going to try to one-shot some of these drones. Good target firing so far.
Looks like a couple drones already. 3 drones going down. 4 drones going down.
I need to do something involving a proxy pass, and I've done something similar with it before.
Yeah, 4 is actually a lot for an early game pressure like that.
It's been a minute, though.
These things can occasionally start to add up.
Well, those drones are gone. They're not coming back, but now the Oracle coming out, trying to get some damage.
Okay, hold on. Oh.
Need to obfuscate something, so bear with me.
Really throw away your lead.
Second Oracle's coming out.
Classic's Oracles seem to take quite a beating. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, they do. Takes a lot of damage. He's trying to get the maximum amount of damage he can get with them.
There's nothing new coming out of that Stargate. We have a Robo coming here, as well as a Twilight Council.
Okay, and yeah, that's
Alright.
looking like it's going to be the Archon drop. Scarlet defended this very, very well before. We'll see if she can get that done once again.
Okay. Okay, here come the Oracles again. Scarlet's already evacuated drones from that area. We have the Oracles, excuse me, splitting up now. But so far, not that much more damage has really been dealt.
Mostly focusing on scouting at the moment. And, we just saw Charge was on the way. I mean, not a huge surprise right there. This could just be one of those more middle-of-the-road builds. Yeah, this is kind of like what Zest...
I have a certain disdain for how adamant some people are in trying to give me ads. So, I say no. I will not abide by you trying to give me ads, kind sir.
Yeah, when you see the Zealot legs, you say, okay, there's definitely going to be some Zealots here. And a good mainly connect can absolutely shoot this foot. We have Storm now coming down here as well. And I got to say, Classic played, at least in this game, it looks like it's a much more standard orthodox approach.
Yeah, and this is actually...
Though, the funny part is, despite my disdain for ads, I actually do enjoy a number of advertisements. Just disable JavaScript. And lose half the internet? I work in JavaScript, my man. My dude. My person.
Okay, War Prism coming out. Now note, Scarlet's going to move the banelings back. You almost want to fish the
But it's a pretty bold approach. Not gonna lie.
That War Prism, the rush is gone.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, he's not even going to
run.
Archons, because when you see Hydras this quick, Archons don't do it. There's not a unit worse against Hydras than Archons, really. Truly. Like, think about that, okay? It's pretty crazy how quickly they gun them down. The range just isn't big.
But yeah, I just cannot abide by most ads.
Oh my gosh. That was...
I say that as I'm writing JS myself. Lol. That is wonderful. That makes me so happy and confused and worried all at the same time.
I'm like, well, you can't click that fast. It was somehow Scarlet still kind of dodged it for the most part. But now it's Scarlet's turn to try to pick a fight. We see the Oracles laying some traps. The Storm goes down and misses.
Uh-oh, there's not that many storms. Two of the storms were already used up. Archons made here. I mean, okay, that's a good storm right there. The banelings are the storm
RM,
here, 'cause
RF, net.
eat up some of the shots. Those Archons need to get in front. Archons, why are you running? You're
Mixer.
Okay, the banelings are coming up now. Classic gonna lose a lot of these Zealots to that as the Hydras press forward.
Oh, a lot of banelings actually connect.
Can't believe you would say disable JavaScript as you're writing your own JavaScript.
More banelings come up and connect here. The Hydra's starting to mount through everything.
You can see Classic gonna try to rely on some of that War Prism micro, but it might not be enough.
Oh, the push continues here from Scarlet. So few units left for Classic.
Even though Classic took a beating and lost a lot of his army, Classic's third base is still there. There's nothing protecting it, but Scarlet wants to wait for reinforcements before she attacks again.
Okay, Scarlet still has a little bit of a
Why
base.
does
She's
it?
rallying over
Why
as
do you
much
not
as
like
she
me?
goes after this third base, and as you said, nothing's there. Classic has to back off. Brings over his couple of Archons, though, to try to clean up these lanes.
Okay, Scarlet
Okay.
has to come back here and try to attack the Zealots in the depths that are trying to come outside of the natural. And there's nothing here to force field, so these banelings can just push their way through.
Oh, these banelings could do so much damage, getting right in on top of the mineral line here, going after some Zealots as well. Tons of probes start to go down.
Artosis, I think she has done it.
I think you're
Then what's with the T here?
This is the Archons about to
There's no reason for the T to be right there.
The third one's still fighting on. It looks like
Why do I have all the questionable guides? I swear, I'm going to end up writing another how-to guide just so that fewer headaches can ever exist in the future. Me too. What I'm writing is server-side though, working on a scraper that uses a headless Chrome browser to get data from JavaScript-heavy sites that load everything via XHR requests. So I'm basically writing a scraper in JS because of JS-heavy apps. Hey, if it does the job.
Pushes. We're going to have a Ling harass coming here. Now maybe Scarlet can take out a few of these probes. That would be very good for her. But
I mean, listening for what files are returned and the like. Though, some people are smart enough to go ahead and obfuscate how they get their information back. Or something to that effect. Some are. Not everyone, though.
Getting some macro going for Baneling speed. I still kind of like a lot of things about her position, but
come on. Open up, open up, open up. So what is your full stack to me, too? Are you mostly a front-end developer?
Into the late game, but he barely held it off. I think with like one remaining Archon. And then he's rebuilt. So he's kind of back to where he wanted to be anyways. Oh, man. And these Banelings have been spotted. What? Oh, okay. Dropping one Zealot on there to soak up all the Baneling hits.
That's a quality sacrifice right there. Okay, so right now, Classic, I feel like what Classic needs to do...
No. Oh.
This army is getting really
Snap.
good for Classic. Looks like he wants to pressure a little bit. Maybe get units out to the front because there's a Warp Prism flying elsewhere. And if that Prism can do something like third base while the army pressures towards the front of the creep, that is going to be cash money for Classic.
Right. Scarlet's creep spread is pretty good. It is a little bit awkward for her, though, that she is actually expanding towards the Protoss. Okay, now, is she ready for this? Are there any Hydras in position? I don't see any right now.
Yeah, this Prism...
No!
Serious damage.
Why?
Line of drones pretty well. Going after the Queen. Yeah, a single Zealot over here. That's kind of funny. But, harassment doesn't necessarily have to do a lot, but he is all over the place. It's really pulling Scarlet around.
Yeah, it seems like Classic is actually doing a lot with a little
City, net.
But this is eventually going to be cleaned up.
You know, even buying this time right now, seeing things like double Evo and no Hive on the way, these are valuable things for Classic.
We had some drop overlords
Startup.
here. Now let's not forget how Scarlet won Game 3 Artosis.
Look how much Psystorm there is there.
Yeah, keep in mind the creep is basically touching the Protoss' fourth base.
That is true. Her creep spread is pretty phenomenal this game.
She's almost maxed out. Now there's still that Warp Prism hiding in the back here, so Classic could do a warp in, and then maybe...
Nah, I'm mostly a PHP developer. LEMP using the Laravel framework. I used to consider myself a full stack developer, but I've really fallen behind on the JS framework, so I'm not very competent with them. Vue.js, man. Vue.js is the way to go.
On the way. Definitely kind of shows her colors as to what she has planned here. Are those all Banelings in there? Now, is she going for mineral lines, or is she trying to flank and drop on High Templars?
Well, I think both could be good, but I mean, if she can get a drop on the High Templars, they're all bunched up right now. It looks like this is going to be for the minerals, unless she moves somewhere else. Really good storms here by Classic. Scarlet has to respect that.
Look at this.
Oh my God.
It was a diversion.
No, not what I want.
Oh, wow, that was actually very nicely done. Meanwhile, another great drop over here where these pros are 10 kills.
Yeah, not too bad. Of course, +2 melee, nowhere near done. That would have made this much more effective, but definitely worthwhile anyways. And just keeping Classic back on the defensive is a strong move right now. But we've gotten to the point where you're not going to break Classic unless he walks out of his defensive area. You can't go up ramps against what he has right now. So Scarlet is starting to take up a bit more. Going for Spire, but I feel like she needs to go Hive as well.
Yeah, Scarlet's basically in control of the map, but Classic has chosen to basically not try to assert himself on the map. He's staying back and saying, come at me, Scarlet. And if Scarlet has any bad engages, then it's going to be a very unfavorable trade, which is exactly what Classic wants.
Yeah, and he's just standing at these choke points, standing up these ramps. It's a very good positional game right now. Look at this, he's even preparing. He realizes that the one way Scarlet could break him is Brood Lords. He's going into Tempest or Carrier Tech. It's up to him.
Come on.
And you know, I think it's really smart. He's just kind of preparing.
Ooh, this is a good little attack over here by Scarlet. Coming in here, and you can see
Yeah, that's what I've been using here and there, but I still prefer building my views in PHP. I've yet to build an actual SPA.
She can keep slow dripping these Banelings.
Well, if you have any questions of how to accomplish that, I am more than happy to provide some assistance in that.
And of course, once a Baneling does,
I actually know a number of awesome plugins that will save your life.
This is really interesting, the way that Scarlet's approaching this. She's skipping going for Hive Tech completely. She's just on Ling Bane.
Web app.
Here. Oh my gosh. Coming back in.
.NET new web app.
Oh my god, she's getting stormed over. I'm surprised she's staying there, but you know, it is her fourth base, so she wants it to live here, trying to get up and erase all these
Brute.
out. She ate so many storms.
Lib,
Raiders are continuing to push. They've got a pretty good
Bootstrap.
arc around these Archons and Immortals.
Pages.
Really starting to pick off these units now.
Okay.
Hydras, their DPS
Awesome,
is out of
awesome.
control. Kills off the rest of the army. She loses her base. She loses 22 drones.
Hey,
And it's a classic.
anything to help another developer. We're all in this together.
I don't think that Scarlet will be able to counter push right away that fourth base, but Classic did do some good job. Did a good job here, doing a decent amount of damage and really keeping Scarlet honest. Now, when you lose that many Immortals, it hits a reset button, Artosis. The Immortals
Okay.
are not going to be a factor for a little bit here.
There's 11 mutas on the way. I'm trying to make your point into more reality because the Archons died as well, right? Without Archons, without those storms, I mean, the
All right.
mutas are going to be.
Where
so
is it
big.
getting the
There's
port?
almost nothing for anti-muta right now. There's 3 Stalkers, 2 Archons, 1 Phoenix. 10, 11 mutas can basically ignore that.
And even if 1 or 2 Archons comes out, the Mutas can just run away from it.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like
Like, have you played around with Vuex at all, or View Router?
before she can do anything. But there's only so much time that Classic has to try to respond to this. Let's also point out, where on earth would Protoss expand after this, Artosis?
Oh, that's where it gets hard.
I think Scarlet just, she doesn't have to in the game, but she could just try to drag the game out, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. She has to kind of recover some of her economy, though, as well. She's now made 11 mutas that she kind of had to use because Classic was harassing very well there. Now Classic is getting into ranged Phoenixes. So, like, ranged Phoenixes are a pretty darn hard counter to these mutas. I'm not sure what she's going to get done with them now.
Here?
Okay. Hey, +2.
Yeah, you know,
Get damage no matter what.
Yeah, it seems like as long as Scarlet monitors that upper right quadrant, which is the only place that Protoss can try to expand to, she can play the waiting game.
Alrighty, so, a little bit of a quick crash course.
Baneling's unable to connect.
The Baneling's still looking for their damage. Get like a single probe. Muta's
On net.mapsandprojects.com.
So many Phoenixes being made. This is actually getting a little bit frightening, right? Because the mutas are worthless against what is now 9 ranged Phoenixes. The Phoenixes can find a lot more value as long as they aren't directly engaging a gigantic pump of
Vuex is a storage management system, and it's frequently just referred to as the store.
And I think it's nearly time for Classic to initiate.
It is probably one of the biggest improvements I've ever had in my entire development process when I initially picked this up.
For sure it's going to. Oh, 11 probes.
That's huge.
If it wants to open,
Now, Scarlet's expanding once more. Remember, Protoss is going to run out of minerals. The only place...
top of the day to you, sir, Morwick.
Right quadrant of the map.
And the closest base she's already dropped creep on. So Scarlet's on.
There you go, Vuex.
Paying attention to whether or not he's
It's going to be your best friend.
Classic right now. It seems like he's just working.
Thank you! I am very appreciative.
Like, okay, I'm just going to get one really strong max and try to be cost efficient and end it.
Yeah. Now, I think Scarlet being the patient player that she has been in this game,
What are you doing today?
that counterattacks are always an
Also, me too. This is Vue.js router,
Classic is itching.
and what this router is able to do is it enables you to build out a single-page application in a far more efficient and clean way, and it will be far more intuitive to you since you are already a Laravel developer.
I actually thought those meters were closer to the Warp Prism. Then I looked on the minimap and realized, in fact, the Warp Prism is quite far away.
Some Zealots actually hit his base. I'm not even sure what is this base 7 for Scarlet, base 6, something like that. But it looks like it will get taken out. Nice pick off there by Classic.
Everything is
And now
slow.
the Phoenixes
Why?
are kind of out and about. This is what I was a little bit nervous about. These Phoenixes just retain value in a situation like
Where
this.
was... It's supposed to be listening off of that.
You know, he was actually staying back for a while. It almost seems like he realized suddenly, oh my gosh, I do have Phoenixes. I should probably get out there and try to do something. Or maybe he was afraid of a counterattack by the Mutas like we see here too.
Yeah. And
5001.
it does do some damage. Looks like a recall maybe on the Phoenixes there.
Still though,
Wow, they're actually, I mean, that's reasonable damage, and she scouts that carriers are on the way. So this, like, I guess the Mutas did about as much as they could in this situation.
by the way, Classic continuing to work Zealots in here and there, taking out these hatcheries is going to slow Scarlet down. She's already not maxed out again. And Classic is patiently building up a carrier fleet.
Yeah, and what a funny thing about this map is, as well, by the way, like these bases get so far away that any harassment that you can get over there undetected, it takes so long to go up and stop it that it just does damage.
Yeah, we saw that hatchery get picked off, or get nearly picked off, and it's like Scarlet saw the moment it got there, and still took off to run all the way across the map with creep connect and everything.
And it's speedlings. It's like, well, I mean, that's as quick as you can respond.
Okay, Classic's moving out now.
Oh man, this is the army that Classic has been waiting for. That's so many Archons that really Corruptors are not going to cut it against these carriers.
Yeah.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. In a matter of seconds, so many Corruptors fall. You know, this game has been crazy back and forth, but Classic's army right now is so scary. Here we go!
Okay, Scarlet coming in from all angles right now. Storm's going down, taking out a lot of those Hydras. And you can see on both sides, Scarlet is getting pushed back.
Do remain, trying to pick off anything that can be picked off here. Psystorm's going all over the Hydras, counter harassment at the same time from Classic.
Scarlet continuing to try to kite with these Hydralisks here, but I think there just might be too much. Classic's army so sophisticated. Scarlet at 48 supply. GG. Classic does it.
Alright. If there's any requests of what to watch or what to have in the background, do let me know. Maybe games or any particular YouTube thing. Otherwise, I might just default to Warcraft. But yeah, I often try to find examples on JS Fiddle, CodePen, or Code Sandbox when playing with new things. Like, there's this one for Vuex router, nice basic example. I am more of a Stack Overflow person myself, but mostly it's courtesy of them getting straight to the point. When I have too much information flying at me at once, I go, whoa, 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 slow down, break it down, my friend. But yeah, store and router, pretty awesome. Though, when it comes to building out a goods store, I actually have a nice thing that I love to do for when I'm doing stores so that I can have a much larger set and types of stores so I can build larger applications and make it forever extendable. I use SO when trying to solve a very specific issue, but I learn a lot faster by playing with examples. Stack Overflow. No, I can completely get that. And some people, they like to learn entire concepts. Me, I am very much on the side of I need a very real problem. And I need to be able to focus on that one problem and solve that one problem. Take, for example, this application that I'm trying to work out in terms of enabling me to run .NET applications off of Ubuntu. That's something I need to figure out, and because of that, I'm able to learn. Otherwise, it's just like, okay, what's the point of this information? Until,
He's shy.
Configure a proxy server. Startup configure. I'm just gonna put some music in the background. Wild Silver and Gold. I love this song so much. Makes me so happy. On the inside.
I drew a line down in the sand just to see if you cross again. 'Cause I know people, they never change. Same old story, just a
Yes.
different day. I'll be silver, I'll be gold. Have my heart, believe my soul. All that's done will be
Forgotten. I'm forgiven.
It took some
Time. I know.
the lesson was just letting go, and I feel fine. I can't keep watching from the
Rearview mirror.
'Cause things seem closer than
They
they
appear.
Don't need a reason or rhyme this time. I see the good that's in goodbye. I'll be
Silver, rock, and gold. Heart, soul. Forgotten. I'm forgiven. Inside, I know. It was just letting go. And I feel fine.
I'll be silver, I'll be gold. Have my heart, believe my soul. All that's done will be forgot, but not forgiven.
My proxy reverse.
It took some time, but now I know the lesson was just letting go. And
I feel fine. Hmm.
Evergreens in a dream of an island town. Draw a line in the sand and we'll smooth it down. And on your side we'll get in the middle, count 'em off one at a time, and we'll try to get us right. Awaken in the white sun, lights out, waiting through the days and nights out. It's a slow cinnamon summer. Your spells pulling me under, rolling in a wooded hollow, showing me the moves to follow. It's a slow cinnamon summer. Your spells pulling me under. It's a hand on the ground, it's around for an hour of hope. It disappears as the sea takes it in and swallows it whole. And just as it leaves, just as it's sinking, the motor will save our soul from too
Configuration.
to keep low. Waking in the white sun, lights out. Waiting through the days and nights out. It's a slow cinnamon summer. Your spells pulling me under. Rolling in a wooded hollow. Showing me the moves to follow. It's a slow cinnamon summer.
So it's supposed to be part of the native side of it, but it doesn't. Which is weird. Does it?
Waking in the white sun, lights out. Waiting through the days and nights out. It's a slow cinnamon summer. Your spell is pulling me under. Waking in the white sun, lights out. Waiting through the days and nights out. It's a slow cinnamon summer. Your spell is pulling me under. Rolling in a
Oh, that was cute.
showing me the moves to follow. It's a slow cinnamon summer. Your spell is pulling me under.
Let me mull it over while I enjoy something to eat.
I have so many questions and places to go. There are too many options, far too many unknowns. This is why I need you. And everyone talks now, but no one is right. There are too many armies with no one to fight. This is why I need you. 'Cause you make the darkness less dark. You make the edges less sharp. You make the winter feel warmer. And you make my weakness less weak. You make the bottom less deep. You make the waiting feel shorter. You make my crazy feel normal every time. You are the who, love is the what, and this is the why.
Очень странно.
There are so many problems and no one who cares. There are so many roads and they all need repairs. This is why I need you. And there's not enough chocolate, there's too many chores. There are so many mountains that I haven't explored. This is why I need you. 'Cause you make the darkness less dark. You make the edges less sharp.
Okay, so
You make the winter feel warm.
slow.
And you make my weakness less weak. You make the bottom less deep.
It reminds me a bit of some of Jason Mraz's stuff. You listen to him, any? Oh man, he's fantastic. Any faves of yours? I'm going to get dinged so hard, but I don't care. I give it 2 minutes before I get notified.
Well, you done me and you bet I felt it. I tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my best. This and nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't
hesitate
no more,
no
more. It
cannot wait. I'm yours.
Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find
Love Someone, Long Drive, Best Friend. Honestly, there's only like 2 songs on his Yes album
and sing. We're just one big family.
that I don't like. Well, they're very relaxing tunes.
To be loved, love, 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 love. So
Hesitate no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure
there's no need
need to.
complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm
Yours.
Do you want to come on? Scooch on over closer, dear, and I will nibble your ear.
Something tells me that is the
I've been spinning way too long, checking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer. But my breath fogged up the glass, and so I drew a new face.
well,
and I
Facebook is like, how dare you?
I guess what I've been
How freaking dare you?
rid yourself of vanities and just go with the seasons. It's what we
Because I dare.
do. Our name is our virtue, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Well, open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find that the sky is yours. So please don't, please don't, please don't. There's no need to complicate, 'cause our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. Long drive, long night, the best night of my life with you, riding your hand on my hand. The thought of arriving kinda feels like dying. I don't want to go home and be alone. Could we stay out? Could you drive a little slow? No matter where we're going, as long as I'm with you, we can take a long way.
Let's just get a very simple website going.
Chevy Nova, front seat, sofa, getting closer to you. Drive a little slow, don't matter where we're going, as long as I'm with you, we can take a long way. Drive a little slow.
I think I know what's wrong. I didn't make it an available site.
Best night of my life.
Net. Let's look at Matheson Project straight up. NetMathesonProject.com. So it's just, oh, it's moody because of that. Oh well.
Well, you done me and you bet I felt it. I tried to beat you, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks.
Sure, there's something else.
Get back. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my best. This and nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Well, open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find love, 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 love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family, and it's our God-forsaken right to be loved. Love, 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 love.
Proxy requests.
So I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to compromise.
Okay, so it's the same.
Time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. But do you want to come on? I scooch on over closer, dear, and I will nibble your ear. I've been spending way too long checking Sticking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer. But my breath fogged up the glass, and so I drew a new face and I laughed. I guess what I've been saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities and just go with the seasons. It's what we aim to do. Our name is our virtue, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans, damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find that the sky is yours. So please don't, please don't, please don't. There's no need here to complicate, 'cause our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours.
Please work. Ha-ha! I got it running. Hallelujah. I got it freaking running. Woo! Yes, I am so happy. Oh, and it actually listens every time I actually hit it. That's interesting.
If I could write you, make you fall in love, I would
That we did.
only have you, but
That we did, me too. Well done.
I hope that you like this, but you
I think it was your music selection that helped.
cooler than me. You got designer shades just to hide your face, and you wear them around like you cooler than me, and you never
Now the real question is if I can upload
It's a funny thing. Whenever I give it, it comes back to me. And it's wonderful to be given with my whole heart as my heart receives.
fingers crossed on if this will work.
Nice tonight, we've got each other. And I am right beside you, more than just a partner or a lover. I'm your friend. When you love someone, your heart beats so loud. When you love
Okay.
someone, your feet
Now,
feel the ground. Shine
now here is going to be the real test.
to congregate around your face. When you love someone, it comes back.
Scan it, source repos.
Love is a funny thing. It's making my blood flow with energy. And it's like an awakened dream. 'Cause what I've been wishing for is happening. And it's right on time.
Don't know if I need to drop the whole thing or...
Ain't it nice this life we've got each other? And I am right beside you, more than just a partner or a lover. I'm your friend. When you love someone, your heart beats so loud. When you love someone, your feet can't feel the ground. ourselves to love tonight, lifting up to touch the starlight, and we will savor every second we suspend together. You and I will, you and I will, you and I.
Yep, Facebook's mad at me. Alright, let's see if this works. I am so happy though. The fact that I got it to work is... Oops. I do not need node modules. I am so happy that I managed to get it to work. Now I just need to get this one program to work, and if it does, I am in business. Oh my god. I'm so happy. I am so happy. No, I made the mistake of accidentally uploading node modules with everything else, and I shouldn't have done that. So, I am now re-uploading it without node modules, which will be a lot faster.
Well, you done me, and you bet I felt it. I tried to beat you, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my bestest.
App switcher? Like, I don't think I understand your question. I'm yours. I saw you bring up some transparent window with a bunch of... Oh! This? That's just Windows 10 Start. Please work.
I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again. They don't know how long it takes waiting for a love like this.
So it would need to be on user, share, .NET, SDK,
sea to an island where we'll meet. You'll hear the music, feel the air. I'll put a flower in your hair.
Though the breezes through the trees move so pretty, you're all I see. As the world keeps spinning round, you hold me right here, right now. Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home
Okay.
Lucky to have stayed the way I've stayed. Lucky to be coming home someday.
Alright. Is there any other line like that? Nope. So apparently I need to replace that. It really wants me to listen to I'm Yours. I mean, it's a good song, but...
Love is where this begins. Thank you for letting
Video lagged, so I didn't hear your answer, or watched the vid and saw you said it was a Windows 10 start menu. Why is it centered and transparent? I have no idea why it's transparent. As to why it's centered is... well, I don't know, really. It's just how it is. It's how I broke up my window for display. Like, this is how it would look on my old one. It's not as terribly centered. Yeah, I'm using a full screen start menu. That is exactly what's going on. That'd be my confusion then. Well, I have the default Windows 10 menu, forgot the full screen one shows icons centered over your desktop image. It's one of those things of, it is what it is, so... it's just a preference on my side. Any other song requests? In the meantime. Stop sending me emails. Arr. Yes, I spent $110 at that gas station because I can't get over their burritos. And their burritos are amazing. Ever use the virtual desktops? I've been getting into them lately. Super handy for switching between dev, research, and testing mode by having a desktop for each. I have done that before, though for the scale of applications I typically build, I don't need that so much. But I do understand why they are important when you're working on like larger applications and have high-paying clients. I mean, if they're paying a large dollar, might as well invest the extra time and money to make sure everything is done right. Then, no. One tab. Oh, you mean like bouncing around like this? Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I only tend to do that when I'm doing Vue.js JS development, Vue.js Laravel development, and switching between development and testing. And I've done that because it's easier in that way. But right now, since I'm doing a lot more reading and studying, it doesn't make sense to be. And I'm going to be married to one screen or another for long periods of time, so just makes sense to have everything on one screen so that I can see what people are saying. Ubuntu. Don't know if it's going to be a problem, courtesy of the application possibly being 4, or I need to do something specific. Da, 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 da. Maybe it's something. It's in packages, perchance. And Visual Studio web applications. Okay. I normally set my left screen for chats and set those windows to appear on all desktops. Wait, you can actually set a screen to appear on all desktops? Перемести. Размер. Отправить. You can send it from one to another. Let's see. Boop. Right click. Right click. Перемести в создать рабочие, прикрепить справа. Aha! Wow. You are a savior. Wow. You taught me a very cool new trick. I am so appreciative, man. Bada bing, bada boom. Wow. That is incredible. And if that's possible, then I can do... Holy smokes! You have improved my situation by such a ridiculous margin that, wow, thank you. Thank you so much. With that in mind, let's throw you onto this window. I mean, holy smokes, that is... Wow. The fact that's a thing, it blows my mind. It really does. Always learning new things. That is something I'm always happy to be doing. Let's see. Any other... Wow. Why Star Trek is better than Star Wars? Because you're dirty, dirty liars. And of course they get 82%. Oh man. Shame on them. But yeah, that is a huge workflow improvement. Music player, there's no songs in your queue. Grant new giveaway. Custom. I don't know. There's just a lot of neat little things that I don't know about, and it's always awesome when I can be exposed to something new. So I'm just like now in a explore all the things mode. Let's go ahead and hide that away. I'll change display capture, hide you. Programming memes, always the programming memes. Wow. So I need to find a way to add this package in, but it doesn't like me adding that package for reasons. Project file to operate on. add. Can I add package? Create dependency graph file. I wonder, is it something that I can just 2.03, and of course it's going to fail. Visual Studio. Interesting. Oh, Microsoft. Build extensions. Build extension targets. Is that what it's going to want? Web application. Or is that something where Microsoft bin build path. I found one place. Git-r. We are going to want to find web application targets, lowercase or uppercase. Oh, grep. There's no such thing. So, I might just need to be pointing it in a different directory. Mono. So where would mono be? We are looking for web application targets. Microsoft, Visual Studio, targets, C# targets, extensions, app host template, common targets, and I need to go into mono. So that might be my saving grace. Really? Really? Alright. So. Alternatively, .NET, I think it's Start Web or .NET New Web. Wait a minute. Nope. Okay. And likely it should be fine. Yep, it's fine there. Start web app. See if it errors out. I mean, in a worst case scenario, it wouldn't take me long to rebuild the site. It's just trying to figure out how to work between version 4 point whatever and 2 point whatever. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not one in 5,001. One on God's green earth. I'm going to need to figure out how to change the ports it listens to. To stop. Alright. What happens if I just change it over to delete, delete, delete? Nope. Net. It's not HTTPS. Are you kidding me? Okay. So there's something else going on that front. Get out of the way. All right. See if it will allow me to run, or if it's going to give me an attitude. Ah, yes. Need to restart. And then I can test it. If I can get it to work with something other than just web, if I can get it to work with MVC, I'll be pretty happy. Though... It's trying to force it to be HTTPS. I don't want it to be HTTPS. So... Is it just... Really? How do I mute you? don't get to notify me anymore. You don't get to notify me. Really? Okay, that seems a little old school, but okay. Don't appreciate it trying to force me to use SSL. Crazy thing is, when it comes to like Laravel and other PHP type websites, hosting environments, they are easy. They are friendly. .NET? Nope. Gotta deal with certificates, dependencies, and so on and so forth. App settings. Launch settings. Launch settings, launch settings. Properties. Okay, so that is where it will try to post it. Okay, that's cool. So, remove. .NET publish. .NET publish configuration. Release. Okay, .NET run. The heck? There's no 5,001. The heck? Don't redirect. It'll be the last mistake you ever make. Oh, that's why. Chanda, sure. Jacob. Really, authority. Cron schedulers. Minutes. So long as it's in automation, I haven't developed. Oh, dev. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, fantastic. I freaking got it. It's because of the SSL, which made it a nightmare, and now I have somewhat of an MVC framework going on. Not at the same level as that I want, but hey. Proof of concept, it can be done. And hopefully I will stop running into permission errors that will keep tripping me up. Properties, assembly. Okay. So, if I can go ahead and be working off of 2 point something, that will be a step in the right direction. But the real trick CD net. Now this is the real doozy, which will keep throwing up these errors. And I need to find a way to get web application targets. So, hooray. What the hell? Okay, it looks like... Link Slumps. Hey, you use Dapper any? I have no idea what Dapper is. Do you have a link for it? I'm more than happy to take a look at it and give my opinion. Alright. Yeah, please send over a link. I'm more than happy to take a gander. Okay. That would be awesome if you can. Because it's going to try to find Visual Studio, and it's only trying to find it because of this. Microsoft.web application.targets not equal. How far along? How far down this page? Oh, it's near the very end. Yeah, trying to find one. 1 sec. Alright, let's take a gander. Stack Exchange Dapper. Dapper, simple object mapper for .NET. No, I can tell you with 100% certainty I have not used it before. I am not exactly a .NET person. I've mostly worked in the LAMP stack, but I am trying to migrate over to .NET. God willing. But it looks like something that helps with modeling against databases. Kind of gives me a feeling similar to Eloquent. Yeah, it looks more like a mapper than anything else. And something that would be leveraged inside of a model more than anything else. Maybe. I'll go ahead and definitely start for later so that I can take a longer gander at it. And inside a model is an item inside of an MVC framework where you can go ahead and map it to a database to make it much easier to configure the structure of your data. Essentially, you're modeling the data. And usually a controller will go ahead and, yeah, I thought the view would call it. Well, it's just separation of responsibilities. All that I would ever have a view doing is just displaying the data. A model is great for grabbing and manipulating the data. Controller, well, processing it. Though there are a few other types of frameworks out there. Hierarchical model view controller, model view model. So you might be thinking in terms of like a view model. MVP, MVA, PAC. There's a number of different approaches as a whole. I just don't know MVC that well. No, it's okay. And the thing is, MVC solves a massive problem for the average developer who just codes spaghetti code. It provides a standard of logic, and if anyone understands MVC, if you tell them, yeah, I built it on an MVC with an MVC framework, people will be able to find what they need through your code very quickly. That's the idea of using these approaches. It's just knowing what the responsibility is. But MVC is by far the most popular that I've seen, and I will often see in my, hey, we want to talk to you about possibly working for us. They want MVC. So, it's worth learning just for the fact that it will make it far easier for you to translate from one framework or from one set of languages to another. You could still go ahead and spend a lot of time learning the syntax and the reason and logic behind it. Like, since I'm working predominantly with LAMP prior, I have all the presumptions that comes with using the LAMP stack. But throw in the bonus that I am possibly going to be having opportunities to work in .NET C#. I need to figure out how to use the resources I currently have in order to implement these new technologies. Huh. Okay. What if I just rip those out? So yeah, it really comes down to how much of a career do you want in the computer science field. The more you know, the better off you're going to be. And I've kind of had this weird work history where I've had to learn a lot of different things and a lot of different approaches in order to survive in a number of environments. So it gives me a weird mishmash background. And I do have a very strong background in a handful of technologies. It's just I have to always be learning in order to survive, because I need to be able to compete with my coworkers whenever well, not compete, but be at the same level so I can work with them. I think the rule of thumb is every 2 years that a programmer changes jobs, he should be expecting at least a $10,000 raise. If not, then he is not learning. Or she. There are girl programmers out there. I also looked at recently average tenure in a position, and it's 4 years. That's actually longer than I thought. But for myself, I really want to find a forever job. I am tired of going from job to job to job, because one of my previous positions, I ended up working myself out of a job. And because I ended up working myself out of a job, I had to find a new job. And then when I went into this new job, I worked ridiculously hard, not for very much, but I did also learn a lot, but the company eventually changed directions. Thus, they had to let me go. Well, it's just I'm kind of at that level now, in my mind, where I'd be able to earn enough and be like, yeah, I'm happy. Really? Did not know that. But that could be seen also with my work history. Save servers. What's the longest job you've ever had, Link Slumps, if I may ask? Yeah, median was 4 years with 30-year-olds and like 10 years with 50-year-olds or something. Ah. Well, I can definitely see that, considering that people tend to have families and like 3.5 years. My longest was 2 years and 3 months, maybe 4 months. when you're 50, you're probably the boss. Harder to get let go. There is definitely some truth to that, I imagine. Come on. Okay, so I need to find a way to get this implemented into my project. Also, more soft skills and experience, which is what they want. Oh yeah, I would definitely imagine that to be the case. Microsoft Web Application Target Ubuntu. Yeah, I definitely find that I have a lot more flexibility the older I get, whereas I felt a little pigeonholed when I was younger. But at the same time, I've always been like a hungry learner. I am able to... Okay. Why must this run on Linux? To be perfectly frank, I could try to go ahead and develop this locally on my own computer. And I tried doing that yesterday, but unfortunately my computer is a dinosaur. I got this computer back in 2012, and throw on the fact that while I can develop on this computer, I love to stream my code as well. And because I'm streaming my code while I'm needing to compile my code and do a number of other things, it consumes a lot of resources, which makes it kind of untenable. So I have a number of other resources I've used, including my own personal DigitalOcean Ubuntu Linux server. Fortunately, it is a very awesome server, and I know how to work with Linux somewhat, enough to kind of get what I need done. But I need to be able to offload all of my projects onto this Linux server, so that I'm able to develop on it, so that things can run faster, compile faster, and so that I can actually present my work faster while I'm streaming. So it's trying to solve a few problems at once. And on top of that, it's a unique challenge that forces me to dig into the guts of .NET C# a little bit more, instead of just focusing strictly on code, because syntax, well, you pick that up over time. Just by sheer exposure, but being able to get your applications to run and be stable, that's a whole different can of worms. And I'm very interested to know how this entire machine thinks. Why would you want a web server to run on anything but Linux? And if you plan to deploy on Linux, you should develop it on such. Well, .NET C# is something that is supposed to run off of like Microsoft servers. And of course, Microsoft supports its own stuff. Whereas Linux and people who develop on Linux tend to write very hacky code to kind of get it to work on that respective system, even if it's not supposed to. I mean, God bless their hearts. The second is definitely true. The first sounds like an opinion. The second part is definitely true. But I need to understand enough about C#.NET for the upcoming jobs that I may have. And what I really want is to be able to understand the heart and guts of a .NET system. And the only way you can really learn it is by putting your nose to the grindstone. Windows was never made for a good server platform. They have made improvements, but it's costly. License fees, has more system requirements, and is generally slower. I would definitely agree to a point, but when you are operating in a marketplace where they say, hey, we're going to pay $50,000 for a PHP developer or $100,000 for a .NET developer, and you have for every one PHP job, there are 4 .NET jobs. Well, frankly, .NET is always hiring. So I really needed to make a jump a long time ago. And I just really need an opportunity to make that jump and be able to retool myself so that I can actually be far more useful in the long term. A lot of applications are still built off of .NET. So I am definitely a fan of how easy it is to work with LAMP type systems. Also, you can get a Windows server to use for like $3 to $4 a month. So it's not unreasonable. I'm a Windows user on a day-to-day and always have been. Never been a fan of it as a web server though. I definitely agree. I'm on your side here. I'm not arguing with you on that. It's just, you gotta deal with I gotta deal with the economic reality of what I want to do with my career. And it doesn't matter how much I love something, it's a matter of, okay, it's time for me to learn to love something else. It's kind of like, you fall in love with, I'm in love with computer science and programming as a whole. But as programming and computer science changes, I have to learn to love how it changes. The same way that you might have a significant other that you love and adore. It doesn't matter how he or she changes. You need to learn to fall in love with them again and again and again if you want to stick with it. Otherwise, I'm in the wrong field or you're with the wrong person. And I can't get angry at things that change. That's just not reasonable. Just see what happens. Okay, it really, really, really needs web application targets. It really desperately needs it. There doesn't seem to be getting around that. Ow. Is there a way to... Okay, let's just take a look at this. Alright. And this is where I understand maybe 70-80% of what's being said. Control 5, запуск без отклады. Присутствует процесс. Maybe if I can publish Да, говорю по-русски. Well. Trying to... I happen to speak Russian, but only some parts of it I'm not so strong in, which is a problem when I have some of my applications in Russian. Because of that. Chat. Okay, that should be enough. Not running, so meh. Slow, slow, slow. What kind of .NET? Core or framework? I believe I installed Core. Or I might have installed both. What do you mean? What's the third option? Video. Of a project. Looks like I have .NET Framework and .NET Core. And okay. Weird, but okay. Why does it have to do that every single time? Every single time. So, maybe I have to do something when... No, I can't exactly do that either. I need to be able to create the application on the server, and when I create it on the server, I need to be able to compile it, because otherwise it's just going to leave me with the same problem. I don't have a problem doing that, it's just not elegant. I don't know. Just trying to think if there's a better way to do this, because I feel like I'm hitting my head against the wall. That might be what's going on. Because of this Visual Studio folder, it doesn't exist. Okay. Nope. Let's see. Looking at the .NET install options now, there are a number of them, and only one is correct. Oof. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Which one of them would be correct? Well, I have to have the SDK at minimum, but the Visual Studio is where it keeps pointing to. And I think it's courtesy of me building out so I need to install something else, is what you're telling me? Alright, let's see. We can go ahead and install that. See what is missing. Just go ahead and close this bad boy. Close that for safety. Use me on eat. Alrighty. Classical preloginia, that's probably what I need. Come on. Mobile applications.net. Saving and working off of databases. So looks like classical for .NET, WPF forms, and consoles. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Oh, that would be nice. That would be the thing that is most important. And I just tend to, for my up and coming job, I would need to be working with .NET C#. Links on the service. Adapter. I'll probably need to come back for Android later, but not this day. Class constructor. I already have good. Make sure I have both. Install time of scanning. Let's see. He's many. Bada bing, bada boom. So now, we wait. Okay. Let's see. Who shall get back to me first? Impatience. Okay. let's see. I wonder if I'm allowed to stream other people's streams. It would kind of count as hosting, sort of, kinda. Can you do your .NET Rain Dance while it downloads? I don't think it would be a problem if I were to do that. Now I'm trying to find this one thing that I'm actually very fond of, so that I can actually put it on. So is this it? I think this is it. Okay. Can I advanced? No. Boom. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Programmer memes. File change. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Oops. Boom. Boom. I used to be obsessed with this. My friends and I would hang out, enjoy a couple of drinks. And we would always make like friendly bets in person, like, oh, quarter here, quarter there. Just healthy fun amongst friends. Though it's a little loud for my liking. But something to watch while waiting. Though I have never personally owned a Dreamcast. They were watching other stream while streaming. Let's see if I'm gonna get in trouble. Ah. There's a music streamer? Maybe I should not have done that. Oh well. I'll have to ask, I guess. But it's going to take a minute. Hmm. We'll have to find out later. Hmm. 2926815. Hmm. 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 That is very weird, but okay. How can I shoot this person a message? Hmm. Keep going! Download! Faster! Okay. Enable do not disturb. Hmm. Come on. Still downloading. Let's pray that I don't get in trouble. Discord. Come on. Hurry up. Everything's slow. So slow. Hurry up. Onward. Damn it. Stone stalling. Still going. All right. Board. There is no Discord thread. Oh, there it is. It's already 11:40. Great. It's still going. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the stuff to be... I needed to install a few new packages, so I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. The .NET framework. Be very motivated. Be very motivated. But for realsies, make sure you have a very good background in programming with a number of other technologies. It will go ahead and give you a much stronger grasp of how to ask the right questions. Took me 2 days to install stuff on the first time, for what it's worth. That's what I'm guessing what FWIW means. Yeah, it kind of is worthwhile. But it's one of those things of, I've been needing to learn it for ages. J2EE level. Well, everyone needs to have a few extra tools under their belt, in my opinion. I wonder where the terms and conditions are. Yeah, it took me like 4 hours to install Visual Studio on both Windows and Mac, so this might be a while. Yeah, I'm just trying to find some terms and conditions on this one particular stream that I like, because I don't know if they are going to get mad or if I will get in trouble for sharing it. Frequently asked questions. Tried to learn it, but never got to .NET. Do not harass other players. Do no spamming or hate speech. Do not advertise on unauthorized third-party extensions or other websites. Do not exploit, abuse, or excessively use the system in any way that affects other players or the operations of the system. You may be banned from chat and/or your account deleted by the instance for violating these terms. Congrats. Because apparently it's a bit of a no-no unless if you get explicit permission. And that's the part that makes me nervous. I don't know. Just reading some of this stuff, it gives me a few crazy ideas. Okay, so there's this one stream that I really like. It's called Salty Bet. And what I've been doing more of is just streaming like the odd YouTube video or odd game or odd tournament. Make sure it's known who it belongs to, and I will go ahead and watch it while I code, and gives people also something to watch while we hang out and talk about cool things. And because of that, I started looking into, hey, can I follow other people's streams as well? And I don't know, have some private commentary between people that are watching that stream with me. Because, I don't know, it's just something that I think would be fun. Because, I don't know. I'm just the kind of person that wants to be able to find other things to be able to communicate with people about. Like, where Me Too and we were talking about music earlier and all that fun stuff, so. And as far as I can find on SaltyBet, there's nothing that says you can't, but at the same time, I'm scared of doing it in such a way that makes them unhappy. Yeah, that's might be what I need to do. Let's go ahead and see. Salty Bet. All the lag. All the lag. Salty Bet. Salty Bets. Okay. Not going. Okay. Let's see if anyone else has shot them a message. Doesn't look like there's anything. Thus, I'll have to make a message. The heck? Why? This is like my least... Why does it always get buggy? Okay. Is that polite enough? Or... I'm a huge fan of your stream. I was wondering if I could have your stream playing in the background of my stream while myself and others on my stream comment and cheer on our favorite fighters. Thank you for doing such an awesome stream. There we go. And let's see if it hits. Did it not fire? So to tweet it. But it doesn't look like it's updated. I'll just give it a minute. Servers are going to be servers, and they're going to be dumb. So I'm going to have to actually hop off shortly and prepare for my interview. Despite the fact that I did not get to exactly where I want to be, but... yeah. Tweets and replies. Okay, there we go. So, yeah. Let's just close that. It's just being a resource hog at this point. Impatience as things install. Oof. It's credit the creator, or always watch or get someone you trust to watch all videos before you play them. Probably. Seems like that I can get away with it so long as I'm small, but meh. Hmm. Oh my gosh, it's still going. Hmm. Sounds super familiar. Impatience, impatience, impatience. Hmm. 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 Interesting. Well, I think I'm just gonna hop off because I need to be able to give it more resources, and I don't know how long it's going to take. So, thanks for hanging out, and give a follow, and see y'all later.